What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I've got another tier list. X-Men is having another film in their franchise come. It's technically going to be part of the MCU as well with Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm pretty excited for it, and as you can see, I'm doing a character tier list from the old Fox X-Men universe movies. So I'm not going to really explain what's going on here. You guys that have been on the channel, you know what's going on, and the rest of you probably know what a tier list is. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So Archangel, as you can see, they've kind of got some of the characters split up to the different actors that play them. I'm just going to do both the actors as the same character. Archangel is going to go in D. He doesn't do anything in any of the films that he's in. And just a reminder, this is for all films, all TV shows, all video games. Like, these characters are going to be ranked compared to other things, so like an S tier character, something like Katniss Everdeen or Darth Vader. That's the standard that you want to get in there, and it goes down the list from there. So yeah, just because one of your favorite characters doesn't end up in that list, it's being compared to everything. So coming here, I'm pretty sure this is Angel. I forgot her name from First Class, but she'll go into C. She wasn't a bad character whatsoever, but she was kind of just the generic eye candy that you had on screen. Apocalypse was, I'm. Apocalypse for that. See, this is where a little bit of subjectivity comes in. Apocalypse, for what he's supposed to be in the comic books and in the shows, and what he was hyped up to be, all those things, the cartoons, video games. In the movie, he's just not good. Like, this was a massive letdown, especially when we have Thanos coming out around the same time, and you see what a character like that should be built up to. I really do think that Apocalypse is doo-doo butter. This guy that's the ripoff of Nightcrawler, he's going into C because he has a cool character design, and Nightcrawler's powers of teleportation are just super cool. Dang, this is the guy that has that can screech, I'm pretty sure. Not necessarily sure what his name is, but I'm gonna put him in D because I also don't think he does anything. Josh Brolin, I just mentioned Thanos just a second ago. Playing Cable, I thought Cable was cool, and Deadpool 2, I'm going to put him in B tier. I thought he had a cool character design, he was integral to the plot, and he just overall was a pretty decent antagonist. Professor X, Charles Xavier, he's pretty close to S tier. The casting is spot on for both. So yeah, I'm gonna put him in this close. I might change my mind later in the video, seeing where we're at, but I'm gonna put him in this close. Colossus, he's pretty dang cool. But there's other stronger characters. Like the Hulk, I think, is a better example of something that's like just a straight strong character of how cool you can be with that. But he's definitely not bad. I'm also going to put him in D tier because he's pretty cool in the X-Men movies, but then in the Deadpool franchise as well, he has a decent role in those films. Just looking at it here, I probably messed up. I'm gonna have to put Charles Xavier into S tier. Later on, I hope to do just an S tier characters tier list, so he might not be like an S tier, high up, like as high as you can be S tier, but I do think he deserves to be in there. Just two iconic actors playing him as well. And he's very important to every single movie that he's in. I think this guy's name is Edwin, and basically his power is he can just adapt to anything to survive, and his death was pretty dang awesome in First Class. It was definitely an integral part of the film. Um, I'm gonna put him in C tier though. I just don't think him not being in any other movie doesn't help his case out, and compared to everything else, all other movies in fiction, I don't think that he deserves to be any higher than that. But he was cool while he lasted. Deadpool, this version of Deadpool is doo doo butter, no explanation needed. You can just look at his face and understand what went wrong. This version of Deadpool is an S tier. He made his impact in 2016 with his film, and we're still seeing movies almost a decade later with Ryan Reynolds reprising his role in there. Um, is this Subatomic? I think this is Subatomic Warhead. She was pretty funny in Deadpool, but I don't think she does anything to really get herself out of D. Emma Frost, she is also eye candy, but she did have an integral part in First Class. She's going to go in C. Magneto, there's no question about it. He is played by, once again, two absolutely fantastic actors, and he's probably one of the best comic book villains ever. Yes, I know that doesn't have anything to do with the movies, but in film, he's also just a fantastic movie villain and iconic. So yeah, he 100% has to go up there. This guy from Deadpool 2, again, I'm sorry for not knowing the names of all the characters. He or she, I really can't. I don't think I ever asked what gender that was, just because of how some people are, just can float into which gender they want to be. I think this was a guy when they were in the prison. I can't remember, but she or he has an important role, so I'm just gonna put him in C. But other than that, not too recognizable. Beast, this one might upset a little of the audience here, but Beast is going to go into C tier. He is heavily underutilized, and even though Nicholas Holt plays a good job, like does a good job with him in the First Class and then Days of Future Past and those things, Dark Phoenix. I think Beast is heavily underutilized. I think there's a lot more to his character that hasn't been used. Some of the stuff that we've seen in the comics, some of the scientific stuff that he can do. I just think he's the generic. Oh, he's smart, but he's also a beast. Like, yeah, I'm gonna put him there. Um, I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. It's Cyclops' brother. Um, Dang, I can't think of his name, but he is actually a very good character, and he's going to go into B tier. In First Class, he's kind of the one that brings the team together, which makes sense because that's also what Cyclops does. But he's a good character. He has a good relationship with Charles Xavier. I'm gonna put him there. Bobby, another one that, since I know some of the comic book stuff and some of the storylines, Bobby I think was a little underutilized, but Iceman is still very cool, so I'm gonna put him into B tier. I just wish they could showcase his powers a little bit better. Jean Grey and the Phoenix Force, she had a crucial role in these movies in the first two, X1 and X2. She is a good character. In the third one and Last Stand, we all kind of know where that storyline went. Same with Dark Phoenix. Because of her lows, I'm just going to put her into B tier film wise. Now in the comics, it's a completely different story, but that is where I've gone. Jubilee, she doesn't really do anything whatsoever in any of the films. She's kind of just there. So she's going to go into D. Juggernaut. Now these are very distinct versions of Juggernaut. Once again, like they're not really the same character. And I know that's kind of the same for all of them, but with Michael Fassbender's Magneto and Ian's Magneto, I feel like they're both great and kind of feel like the same person, so I'm just keeping them the same. But Juggernaut here, this Juggernaut is doo-doo butter, and this Juggernaut right here, I'm going to put into B tier as well. Looking down the list, right here, Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is going to go into A tier. He has probably one of the best opening scenes to a superhero movie ever, and it's honestly one of the best cold entrances to an action movie ever. And yes, I know that his character doesn't get much characterization, but he has a super cool design, and his power set is awesome, and this is one of the X-Men characters that I think they actually displayed their powers correctly, and I just think he's very iconic. I think most people that have seen the X-Men movies know exactly who Nightcrawler is just by the look, so I'm going with Nightcrawler into A tier. Um, not sure. Not sure. So just going into Doodoo Butter. Mystique is going to go into this close. She, once again, is played by two phenomenal actresses, and her character serves a huge, massive importance to the stories that she's in, especially Days of Future Past, but I don't think she gets into the iconicness of these characters up here. Obviously, Magneto is one of the most iconic villains in anything, just period. Deadpool, now, because of his popularity in the movies and comics, he is a character, especially in the films, that people can pretty much identify relatively easily. And yes, even though Charles Xavier is not one of the most identifiable movie characters, he serves an important role in literally all of the X-Men films, so he's going to stay up there. I'm just going to have Mystique sit at this close. Psylocke, I think that's her name. I'm probably saying that right, but I know it's something like that. Psylocke, also super underutilized in X-Men Apocalypse. She's going to go into D tier. She doesn't do anything. Pyro has a good arc within the first two X-Men movies. Him trading sides, I think, is an important I think it's an important moment in X2 that really shows you that Magneto does have persuasion, but he feels more like a plot device rather than an actual character sometimes. So for that, I'm going to put Pyro into C tier. Quicksilver is also going to go into A tier. If I had another person with me, they may be able to convince me that he should go in this close because his scenes in Days of Future Past and Apocalypse are super iconic, and yeah, I'm kind of talking myself into this close. He's a phenomenal character. His entrance is awesome when Logan introduces Charles Xavier to him. They think he has teleportation, but he's just that fast. So yeah, he's gonna go into this close. Rogue is a fantastic character. If I'm correct, I don't think they really used her after um, the Last Stand, which is kind of a little bit of a letdown. And just for her underusage, I'm gonna go in B tier. Sabretooth. Now, there's kind of two different versions of them, and I think both of them I'm just going to put into B tier, because the original Sabretooth I think has the way better design, and then the second Sabretooth I think is a better character, but I think that they both deserve to be in B tier. Cyclops, the newer Cyclops I think is a lot better of a character than the original Cyclops, the guy that's from the Notebook. He just basically got shafted to being a generic leader character in a movie. I don't think that that's really fair to him. So I'm not sure if I'm going to combine them here. I think I'm just going to put him into D because Cyclops should be way better and way cooler than what he was in those original movies. I'll probably put him in C, and I'll go with this Cyclops in B. I kind of convinced, just seeing who I have in D here, he definitely doesn't deserve. He has enough screen time and does enough to be in C, but they've just heavily underutilized him. Footloose here, he was honestly a great villain to have in The Last Stand. I think he makes his points. I think he serves as a stepping stone for Magneto to surpass him. So that brings him down a little bit, but he will go into B tier. Kitty is a fantastic character, and she really doesn't have anything wrong with her, but she's just not super iconic or super important to the franchise. I mean, she's not unimportant. She definitely has significant role, especially in Last Stand when she is the one that takes out the Juggernaut. But yeah, I'm just gonna put her into B. Storm is another one that is going into A tier. I do think the Halle Berry Storm is pretty iconic, but not as iconic as some of the characters that you get when you're towards the top. But she's a fantastic character. I don't even think they really misused her in some of the later films. In Dark Phoenix, I think her power set is very cool when they're fighting the Skrulls. And in X-Men Apocalypse, I think that she's still pretty cool. And when Apocalypse comes to see her, I think that was a pretty cool scene when she uses the sand and all of that. And then right here we have Wolverine, and I'm not even going to make a joke. Usually I do that one time for a clickbait thing in the video by saying one of the S tier characters is terrible, but I couldn't even get away with people thinking I was joking. At that point, Wolverine, played by Hugh Jackman, is one of the most iconic movie characters ever, and yeah, he's S tier, no doubts about it. And his girlfriend, on the other hand, is very generic. And I'm just gonna put her in D. So overall, here is the X-Men and Fox Deadpool universe movie characters. Please let me know what you think I've got wrong, because there's so many characters here, so I definitely messed up something. But I'm pretty sure this is a great list. So yeah, as always, have a great day and may God bless you, and just subscribe to the channel if you had a good time.